Hey, Premier Investors, it's Adam Schrader here for another episode, co-founder and co-CEO of Premier Turnkey, and I just have one question to ask you. Are you a real estate rookie afraid to get started? Well, we're going to talk today about the things you need to do in order to get started as a real estate investor. I know if you're watching this video, you want to be a real estate investor. Maybe you are a real estate investor of some form, but we're going to talk about what you need to get out of that rookie phase and get into the veteran status, right? You hear stories all the time of people saying, I went from 0 to 100 properties in 1 year. Well, that's not realistic for everybody. They don't tell you the really tough parts. They don't tell you how much money they had to spend in marketing. They don't tell you how much sleep they lost. They don't tell you all of the things that they had to do, the income they had to give up, the fights they had with their spouse, as they went to do this. So we want to talk about what you need to do to stop being a rookie. And it all boils down to a few things. And the number one thing you have to do, you absolutely have to do if you're going to be a successful real estate investor, is build a team. You cannot do this on your own. You can do a whole lot on your own. A lot of this business can be done, and it is a business, don't forget that. A lot of this business can be done on your own, but you cannot do everything. And the number one thing you need, the number one, in my opinion, is a lender. Because a good lender is worth their weight in gold. And you don't just need a lender, you need a lender for real estate investors. You want a lender who invests in real estate, and you want a lender who lends to real estate investors. I have a pretty funny story for you here. I was looking to buy a property about a year or two ago, and I was going to buy through a builder, and they said, oh, we've got this great deal for you. If you buy through our lender, we'll give you all these incentives. And I said, okay, I'll talk to him. So I got on the phone with the lender, and I was walking through some questions that I had. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy this property with a DSCR loan. What are your terms for DSCR loans? And I kid you not, this mortgage lender said to me, what is a DSCR loan? Now, if you're very new, if you're still a really real estate rookie, it stands for a debt service coverage ratio loan. It is based on how the property will perform, not how I perform, how I am as an individual. It is focused on the property. Now, I still have to have funds and all of that stuff, but it is basically stated about the property and not me. And so as soon as I heard that, I said, nope, we're done. You can offer me a lot of incentives, but I'm not working with you because you are not going to close this loan the way that I need to close this loan. And if it actually does happen, it's going to be 4 months from now, not the 20 days I know that my lender that I work with all the time can do. And you've heard that lender. It's North American Financial and Aaron Chapman's investment lending team. We've done podcasts with them before. I love them. I owe a lot to them and teaching me about investing, and I hope I've been able to help them along the way. But it is incredibly important, and talk to them about, is it 20%? Is it 25%? What makes sense for you? And they will know you. They will know your goals. They'll know your finances, and they'll say, for this one, this route. Oh, should I buy my rate down? Well, let's look. Let's look at your break-even period. Let's do this. Let's do that. And they will walk through you. So will we at Premier Turnkey. But you want to have a lender, because they're the ones who are going to sit there with the rate sheet and say, if you do this, it'll be this. If you do this, it'll be this. And walk through, and I can't pre-qualify you for a loan. I can't tell you, oh, Joe, you can buy $1 million property, because guess what? I'm not the one lending you money. I don't know whether that's true or not. The next thing you need to have is an insurance agent. Now, again, you need an insurance agent for investors, because we are not buying the exact same type of insurance that homeowner occupied buyers are buying. Maybe you want to do loss of rents. Maybe you don't need to cover personal property because you don't have any there, right? You're going to want to make sure your tenant also has renter's insurance to cover their stuff. But remember, there are things that you need as an investor that owner-occupieds don't need, and there's things that they need that you don't need. So talk to your insurance provider who focuses on investors. We have options for you if you need. talk to the insurance people, because they're going to be able to configure your deductible, configure your needed parameters for your policy so that you are safe as an investor and don't overbuy insurance. Because if you just go to some random State Farm, Allstate agent, no offense, they're going to be looking at it in the view of you are an owner occupied. That is the lane that they're in. All right. Now, the next thing to do when you're under contract, you're going to inspect, you're going to reinspect, and if needed, you're going to reinspect again. I do not recommend just taking people's words for it. I love our builders. I think they're great at what they do. But guess what? There are 1,000 moving parts whenever you're building a home. 1,000 moving parts with 100 people doing them. Guess what? Things get missed. Not intentionally. They're not trying to, pull one over on you. They just missed it. I mean, one of the new construction properties I bought a few years ago, the inspector walked in and the front of one of the stairs hadn't, the fascia board hadn't been put on. It was just exposed plain wood. They weren't intentionally doing that to me. Somebody missed it and nobody caught on it. So they looked and said, you need to fix this. They fixed a few other things as well. And guess what? I got the property re-inspected because look, I love them. I love the builder. Thought they were great. Property's doing well for me, but trust but verify, right? You could work with someone a long time. If they miss one thing, they might miss it again. So just make sure you inspect, you re-inspect, and if you need, re-inspect it again. But a lot of times the final one, photos will do along the way. So there are places we can send you to find these inspectors to help you out in the market. We're not getting paid by them or anything else. They're just inspectors that are licensed. And not only that, but if you purchase through us, just going to throw this in, we cover up to $500 of your inspection and reinspection. So you're coming in saving money. The next thing you got to do is make a savings plan, because none of this happens if you don't have the money. I mean, let's be honest. Unless you're going to go through and do the BRRRR strategy, which is way more work than they make it sound like on these shows and on these, TV shows, on the podcasts you're going to hear. It is. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It definitely does work, but it is a lot of work. A lot of work. And it's really, really a lot of work if it's not in your home market. And that's where a lot of these BRRRRs happen, is a lot of people are trying to do it far away and it doesn't end up going well because they get, a contractor lies to them and they don't go and check. And next thing you know, they're out tens of thousands of dollars, right? You got to know how to save to make this plan that you're doing. I mean, even if it's just a couple $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever it is, make a plan for how you're going to continue buying, because you need to formulate a strategy for buying. Are you buying one a year? Are you buying one every other year? Are you buying 2 a year, 4 a year, 5 a year? Are you buying 5 one year, none the next, and 5 the next? You need to have a plan, because you need to be purchasing real estate consistently if you want to build up your portfolio. You can't just buy one and sit on it and think, I'm good for the rest of my life. It might do you some good, but when you look at the generational wealth that we're talking about trying to build through real estate, it is not going to happen with just one property. You need a plan to consistently buy these properties. You also need to look at markets. Like I've said before, like we show on our website, we are looking at the South, the Southeast, and the Midwest. Why? Because that's where people are moving. That's where businesses are staying or going to. It's where you're going to see continued appreciation, continued rent growth, and all of the things that you want to make a successful market. That is where it's headed. Now it might change, and when it does, the markets that we're in are going to change. And that doesn't mean we were lying to you. It means things changed, right? But you need to go in and look at the market, find your data points, make sure you're 100% comfortable for it. And if it's not in your home market, you need a property management team. I cannot stress this enough. People talk about, self-management. I've tried it. It didn't go well. I've done some kind of online portal tools where there are a little bit of the, a little bit of the boots on the ground, but not fully. You want somebody who has an office in this place, because let me tell you, it's real easy to self-manage or to do it with online portals without boots on the ground when rent's getting paid and when the tenant is in place. But if someone stops paying rent and you need to get somebody over there to evict them, if someone is moving out and you got to handle dealing with the keys, what are you going to do? It's a lot harder to do that from afar than it is if you have somebody boots on the ground there. And then they get out and you still have to deal with moving the utilities. I'm dealing with it right now in Memphis, Tennessee, where I own properties, but I don't live. This is one of the ones I tried to have a property management that wasn't a local team, and I need to get I got the electric and I got the water turned on, but to get the gas turned on, somebody has to be present at the property. Who is that? And not only that, but they give you a whole day's range. They'll be there between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. If you don't have an on-the-ground property management team, it is very difficult to get those things taken care of. So just spend the money. You're looking at 8 to maybe 10% on the high end to have somebody there taking care of things. And sometimes you might think, well, what am I paying you for? When stuff happens, which in real estate, stuff will happen, you realize what you're paying for. And you're going to get it, and it's going to be worth its weight because it's one less thing you have to take care of along the way to make you a successful investor. And it allows you to focus on saving, on buying more, on continuing to do your due diligence. It allows you to do all the things that don't stress you out. It lightens your mental load. Just pay for it. I am begging you. We have good property management in every market we're in, but if you don't like them, we'll help you find other management companies. Happy to give you recommendations for it. Can't vouch for everybody who we're not using, but hey, if you really don't like the people we're using, we'll help you find somebody else. So buy consistently, make a plan, use people who are real estate focused, and don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. You've heard this a million times, I'm sure. But if you want to get out of the rookie stage and get into that veteran status, you need to buy the real estate, because so many rookies, I'll call them, who are really like down in the minors, because all they do is sit there and listen and read and listen and read. Maybe they're saving some money, maybe not, but someday they're going to invest in real estate. When is that day going to come? You have to own the asset to actually take advantage of what's happening. So head on over to PremierTurnkeyREI.com and schedule a call with us. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can scan the code to book a call with us. It'll also be in the show notes. You can find it at PremierTurnkeyREI.com. That's PremierTurnkeyREI.com. And don't forget that you can live how you want when you invest where it's smart.